Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the video. I'm Get Good Guy. This is Apex Legends, the new free-to-play Battle Royale out now on PC, PlayStation and Xbox, so go and try it out if you haven't. But if you're here, assume you've got the game and you want to know what settings to use, because I have for you a full console settings guide. I'm going to go through all the things that I think are of importance. For new to FPS games, this may well be helpful, or may well be helpful without screwing my words up. If you're unsure of anything, I've got your back. If you play FPS games a lot, then you may know most of this, but perhaps I can help you out. I will be putting out a first impressions video for this game soon, but let's not waste your time, here we go. Interact prompt style in the gameplay section. This is just how the prompts come up on screen. There's normal, there's compact. Compact will be smaller. It won't take up as much as of your screen rather, but I'm just going to stay with the default at the minute. It hasn't been bothering me. Button hints. This is just the hints that come up on screen to tell you what the buttons do. I'm keeping them on for now in case I'm not sure of something, as I'm new to the game. Over time, I'll probably turn them off, and that's what I advise for you. But at the minute, if you're unsure, go with on. Crosshair damage feedback. This is the indication that you get when you're hitting someone. So if you have it off, which you can do, I think you're going to struggle. You won't know when you're hitting people, you get no feedback to tell you're on target. Definitely have it on. There's X, which is just on, so you get an indication when you're hitting someone, or there's the standard, hitting someone and showing you the shield if they've got shield. That's the one I recommend, gives you all the relevant information. Damage numbers. The default, I believe, is stacking, where it tells you all the damage you've done to people within a short space of time. So if you're shooting one person, you do 50 damage, you quickly switch to another person, do 20, that will be 70 damage. I'm putting mine on floating, so it will tell me that I did 50 to that person rather, and then 20 to the next person. So I've got a better idea of who's how weak, you know, how much damage should I do to each person. You can choose as you wish. Again, I don't recommend off. This is the standard. I think floating's better, but it's up to you. But there is also, oh, I've just changed that accidentally. There is also both, where it's going to tell you stacking. I think, but I feel like it's going to be too much. At least for me, that would be too much. But you play around with it, you now know what I recommend, which is floating. Ping opacity, this is just how your ping appears on screen, whether it's fully solid or whether it's faded. I'm keeping mine solid. Obituaries is telling you when people are killed or when people on your team die. You can turn this off if you want, if you want a bit of a cleaner experience without things on screen, but I'd have them on. You need all the information you can get, you need to know when people are going down, etc. Incoming damage feedback. So there's the standard, which is 3D. There's 2D, which is like the old style, I think, from older FPS games, or there's both. Again, I think that's going to be too convoluted, but it's up to you. But me, I'm sticking with the normal 3D. It's going to give you a good idea of which direction you're taking damage from, so you can react. Onward, streamer mode. I'm having mine off. I'm not that bothered. I may put that on if I stream at some point. But basically, this is for all you streamers out there, obviously. If you're a streamer, you probably know what this does, but it basically hides names and all this sort of stuff so that people aren't as interested in coming and finding you, etc. I'm going to keep mine off. Most of you will have it off. Usage sharing. This is just whether EA get your data while you're playing so they can alter things in the game and all that sort of stuff. I'm not bothered to have mine enabled, rather. You can have yours disabled if you want. It's not going to alter very much. Accessibility. This is all for chat features and voice chat and such like. I'm not going to go into this. On console at least, the chat boxes and using voice to text and stuff really isn't popular at all. If you do want to mess around with that, then go for it. But most of you, this isn't going to be of any relevance at all. So we can move on to controller. Up top, button layout. It starts to get big now. Yeah, that sounded weird, didn't it? But this is where the big stuff comes in. Now, most of you will play default, that's fine, that's all the normal buttons for playing an FPS game that you've probably experienced before. Bumper jumper is when you jump with the bumps. This is a somewhat popular thing for people that don't have a SCUF controller or an Elite, but they want to jump without taking their thumbs off the sticks. And the third most popular one, I think, or no, probably the second most popular one, the one that I use, button puncher. This means you crouch with the right stick and you melee with the B or circle button. For me, this is much better. I like to crouch with my stick. I like to slide with my stick. I slide a lot. It's up to you what you want to use. Obviously, I'm going to keep saying that throughout, but I recommend that. Maybe even try that if you're not used to doing it. Actually, crouching with the stick button is awesome to me. Did I just call it a stick button? I did. But and it doesn't bother me going for B for melee. But if you like to panic knife, default. Me, button puncher. These, weird. Don't know anyone that uses these, but it tells you on the side what they do. If you want to check them out, the yellow things highlighted shows you the things that changed, that are switched around, alright? But these are just strange to me. I ain't going to use any of those, but it's up to you. Backwards. Okay. Onwards to stick layout. This just your sticks, you know, you're aiming and you're moving around your left and right stick. The default, which is what I'm on, is what 99 point whatever % of you are going to use. If you want to switch it around, if you've done something else before, such as Southpaw, again tells you on the right, you switch them, it does the opposite. I don't know a single person that does these other button layouts, but they're there if you want to use them. Default's going to be best for the vast majority of you. Interact reload button. This is basically whether you tap or hold to do things. I do tap to use and reload. So you look at something, you tap, you pick it up, you want to reload, you tap. If you want to change those, so hold for both or hold and tap for one or the other or whatever. Actually, no, sorry, it's hold to use one, tap for the other, tap for one, hold for the other. Obviously, you couldn't hold for both. But basically, that's going to be better for most people. But they're there if you want. But this is just quicker. Tapping's faster. You know, the more time, or the less time rather, you spend doing things, the more time you can focus on other stuff. Crouch. Toggle is going to be better for most of you. This is basically you hit it, you crouch, hit it again, you come up. If you're used to holding, then fine, but that's going to limit your movement while you're actually trying to get around, I imagine. So that's not going to be best for most people. Just keep that in mind. Most people, toggle. It's going to be better. But if you're used to that, do that. It's up to you. I won't come and find you. It's alright, I won't judge. Aim button. Hold. Again, most of you will hold. So that's holding with the trigger, or your R2 if you're on PlayStation, and then shooting with your right, you know, the opposite, unless you switched them, of course. But most people are going to do hold. If you like to toggle it, fine. That means you'll tap, you'll aim in, you'll tap again, you'll aim out. Most people, including me, much prefer hold. Sensitivity, not in ADS, sensitivity while moving. This is obvious. The higher you go, the higher sensitivity. The standard is 3. I'm having mine on 4 to go a bit higher. The higher it is, the more quickly you can react to things. Oh, apparently I'm on that one now. The higher it is, the more quickly you can react to things, but the lower it is, the more precise aiming you can do. Sorry, my words. This is a lot to go through without a script, so I'm going to flub my words a bit. So yeah, I go there. That's a nice sweet spot for me, but you'll find your own. You play around with them. You'll work it out. Same things for ADS sensitivity. You might over-aim if you go too high, but it might be too slow if you go too low. My sweet spot is 4, same as here. Response curve. This is just how quickly these sticks react to you actually pushing them. So I'm going on classic. That's the classic respawn feel, it says over there. So if you've played Titanfall before, right, let's sort my words out now. If you played Titanfall before, it's going to feel like that. The older Call of Duties probably feel a bit like that as well, considering some of the guys that make this were originally from COD way back in the day. So that's the classic, but the higher you go, the more quickly it will react, but also the more you might, again, over-aim, etc. So yeah, keep that in mind. Dead zones. If you have it on none, you will move if you hit the stick even slightly while you're aiming, okay? So if you touch it a tiny bit, it will move. If you have it on small, this is what most games have. So it won't react instantly to a tiny press. You press it any more than that, it's going to go. Large, I would only recommend this if you are bad at just knocking your stick accidentally, or if you've got a controller that drifts. You know, if your controller's breaking, it might not drift if you have it in large. But for me, I'm going small, same with the movement dead zone down here, but it's up to you. You'll have to again play with it. It sounds weird again. Inverted look. If you're an inverted person, obviously you want that. If you're not, you want off. I don't know anyone again that plays inverted unless they're playing, plane simulators and such like. I think that's weird to be honest, but it's up to you. But yeah, no one I know uses that. But if you want to do that, that's fine. I won't judge you again. It's up to you. Vibration. I have mine on. Because I like to know I'm getting shot via feel, via touch. And I'm also used to feeling the vibration of when I'm firing my weapon. It kind of helps me to line up my shots and stuff, which sounds weird, but it does. A lot of people, though, will tell you to play off, because you then won't be dealing with vibrations while you're trying to aim, concentrate on other stuff, etc. That might be something you want to try, see if you like it. I have tried it before, it doesn't work for me. I'm going with on. It's going to be up to you. Onwards. Video. Brightness. Obviously, just the brightness. It's up to you. Field of view. The standard is, I believe, 70. I'm having mine up a bit higher. The higher this is, the more peripheral vision you get, which is more view you get on your left and right sides while you're playing. It kind of stretches things out so you can see more of the sides. The higher you go, the more you're going to see, obviously, but as it says on the side, this might impact the visual performance, visual issues in-game. So you're going to have to find what works for you depending on what console you're on, or if you're using a PC with a controller. It's going to be your choice. Personally, I'm starting here. If it starts to, not be great, the visual performance. I'll bring it back down. I might go higher if I can, but yeah, it's better to have it higher to see more up until a certain point, or it might stretch too much. But the lower it is, maybe the better performance your game's actually going to provide. So you can play around with that one as well. Colorblind, obviously, if you're not colorblind, you might have this off. Some people prefer it on anyway. If you are colorblind, find the one that works for you. Again, says so on the right side. Oh, no, we don't want to change anything there. Can we? Okay, can we not? There we go. Audio. I keep these all on the max over here, apart from music and lobby music. I have those off purely because I'm a content creator. I don't want the in-game music to mix with the music that I play in my videos. That wouldn't be good for me, wouldn't be a good experience for you guys that watch. If you're just playing the game normally, you probably want these on because it'll be a better experience for you overall. If you're a content creator like me, keep this in mind, you probably want them down if you play background music in your videos. Subtitles, this is the words that come up at the bottom if you don't know. When there's speech, I have them off, I don't need them, I can hear. If you prefer to have them on, have them on. And then finally, convert incoming voice to chat text. Kind of like what I was saying earlier with accessibility with the chat. I'm not going to mess with this. If you want to, that's up to you. But this is going to have a really small impact for most people. Probably something you're not going to care about. And that, overall, now I've covered everything I believe, is my full console settings guide for Apex Legends. Hopefully that helps some of you out. If it did, please feel free to like, subscribe, turn on notifications and join my Discord server in the description. And there's a lot going on in there, but generally it's Battlefield related. As I said, I will be producing a Apex Legends initial thoughts video though soon, and who knows, maybe we'll cover this game long time. So far, I'm really enjoying it. I'd like to know what you think of the game, get in the comments below and let me know. I'd also like to know if you've got tips for the settings I haven't covered, what the ones that I think are good, and more people can see them, alright? Now, here's the Board of Awesome for the awesome people that support the channel on Patreon. They're all absolutely epic, they're all heroes, I love them all deeply and often. And with that all said, I am Get Good Guy, and I'll see you next time, laters.